Commission. Planning Commission. All right. All right. Yes. All right. All right. Well, that's a different page. When we get those. Somebody else got something going on? I know, there's something going on. That's not this one.
Is it,
Somebody's typing something.
is it, Bill?
I don't think so. Well, yeah, he probably is doing something. I haven't got
Oh, he's,
Oh, get it set up.
in theory, yeah.
Yeah, he's typing in some stuff right now. Yeah.
It's okay, I had a program in here the other day and all of a sudden the Pledge of Allegiance started coming on and let's speak out of that. I guess for Commissioner Reed, they were reviewing it
Yeah.
and it went on 3 or 4 times.
Here's the agenda for today, if anybody would want. I'm going to pass it around.
We'll stand up and do it.
You know, what's the Philip Marshall status?
Oh, we're not like that.
I think somebody I have, and they passed out too many agendas.
So
I have one agenda back.
I can make them copy.
Thank you. He's on there with the camera, but he's on top of it. He can't present at the top there. I know, but I can't get the screen this week. I can't get the screen myself. You're on my screen. Yes.
They get access to the internet, they
Just keep it up on the screen.
Anything on that? I'm on Wayne, I got a brown blank screen. Yeah. Right. Yeah, I'm already on the InFocus, on the connection in there, InFocus projector, I'm connected in that, and then I'll run over to presenter. It says it's already connected, but we got a blank screen. Yeah. All right. All right, we're gonna go through the steps again. We're in focus now. All right, got it. Okay. Yeah, yes. All right. Sorry about the delay there and there. We'll go ahead and call this, the meeting for the Planning Commission open in that. If, the first thing in there is for, have a pledge and a prayer. If you would please stand, remove your hats, please. Scott Mullin will be leading the pledge, and Jeremy McClellan will follow with prayer.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Father, we just thank thee, Lord, for the opportunity to come together, and we just ask thee, Lord, that each and every decision that is made tonight would be for the good of the Washington County. We ask thee, Lord, to lead, guide, and direct each and every way. In the name of Jesus, amen.
Amen. All right, first thing in there, we have a roll call for the members in that.
I have David Hoare present, Jerry McClellan present, Danielle Walker present, Adam DeFore present, Mark Hardman present, and Scott Modlin present.
Okay, so that gives
Not
us,
seeing Philip, Jeff, or Urban.
right,
Okay.
all right. That would give us a quorum to conduct business. Minutes that were sent out, have you had a chance to
Hand it out.
review it? Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes? If so, let them be known at this time. If not, I will entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make that motion.
Scott Mullins made a motion to approve item before as second. It's open for discussion. Seeing none, we'll take it to a vote. All in favor of okaying the minutes, verifying them, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same. Motion carried. I will say into your agenda items, I had talked to KK Gerhard Fritz this morning, and that she was waiting for some remarks come back from legal counsel on some things she had sent down. They were incomplete at this time, and she recommended that since we were having a public hearing and maybe going to be extended in time in that, there are better time and resources would be better used. We will be conducting a meeting the first Monday of June, so she will not be here, so you can On old business, you can strike the review of ordinances with KK Gerhardt on that, so, and also the review of rules of procedures on old business, so you can strike that from that.
Do we have a copy of the minutes attached around the side?
Use this one right here.
Okay.
Any of them work, so just use that one right there.
Before we start with public hearing, we will start at right at 7:15. I want to have a suspension of the planning commission prior to that, enough time so we can go ahead and set up the application up on the screen for everybody to review. So at that time, we will reconvene afterwards, after the public hearing on that, according to what we have in the agenda. Any remarks or anything that generally on the planning commission, from the planning commission? BZA is still at work as we are as far as with the rules of procedure and stuff kind of along on that. So let that. Has everybody had a chance to get the application, look at it as far as, I will be presenting it up on the screen too. So, I took that liberty with KK to go ahead and do that because she just felt like that we had it kind of incomplete and would be rushed at the end of the meeting in order to kind of conduct business and do better. All right. Well, with that, I will entertain a motion to recess, and then I'll get the application set up. We'll go ahead and have people in place. So moved. Amen. Jerry McClellan has made the motion to recess. Do we have a second?
Sure.
Adam DeFore, second.
Being that we have no business for the BZA, we probably wouldn't continue.
Okay. All right, very good. All right. Any more discussion? If not, all in favor of recessing, signify by saying aye. All opposed, same. Motion carried. We are recessed till 7:15. We'll start the public hearing at that time.
Travis gets
Yes.
minutes.
Yeah.
Keep one for yourself. Have them sitting around.
Hey, there's some things that will take care of.
So I saw this stuff, but frankly, I don't know, John and I even talked about it because we didn't think, I don't think we realized she was waiting for us to,
All right. We might go ahead and do that.
so, well, we'll just hold on to this, talk to John and I'll see him. Respond to her.
Have some of her responses.
Oh, okay.
if anybody is wanting to speak, in a public hearing, that we've got a list in there, so we'd like to have your name and addresses on that, so,
We might just have to put our names on it.
just their names.
Just right.
I would like to speak.
Well, if you
Well,
sign
at
it,
the
that's
public-
fine.
Yes, if you sign, we'll speak at the public hearing,
And when is it?
7:15.
In about two, in about a
Yeah.
minute and a half.
What do you sign?
You already did.
We did.
I think everybody signed it, so I think they're all good.
I know this is a waiting name, but this is a procedure because it was listed in the paper and advertised that way, so we're legally bound to those times.
We can start it after, but we can't start it.
Yeah.
Do what?
We can start it after 7:15, but we can't start it before.
That's legally,
Nope.
I'll do it on the pass out. Just drag me.
Well, that clock right there says 7:15.
7:14.
All right, we'll take a chance. At this time, I'd like to go ahead and call to order for the public hearing on the permit application of the AFO, and that with Chuck Peters. And that he submitted an application in there. I want to start out by give you a few rules of a public hearing. First of all, it'll be introduced, the application which you see up on the screen, and it's got a case number on there beside it. We'll be referring to that. This is basically, I want to say at first, the ordinance, the way it is written right now, allows administrative approval of the AFO if it meets all the standards of the application. And no public hearing is required by the ordinance if it meets all that criteria. This public hearing is basically a courtesy of listening and information session, and that for us to gain knowledge of the permit and see if there's something that is missing in the application. This application is governed by the ordinance and regulations that are already in place. Even if the county decided to change the ordinance standards, the new standards would not apply to this application. And so if anyone can show that the standard is not met, the Planning Commission would like to know, and that's what we're here for. I'll have Travis go through the application at the start and acknowledge it where it appears to meet all standards and go through these items as they're listed. Now, whenever we go into the public hearing, we would, the way it is that the applicant will present the case of the application and what the application is for. And he will stand up in front, and he's got 15 minutes to present the case as far as for the application. After he is done, and everything will be presented to the Plan Commission. This is not everything will be directed to Plan Commission. I will ask you to refrain from speaking directly to the audience or talking in discussion with the audience. You are to discuss, and the question and answer will go through the Plan Commission. So after that, he does what the application is for. There will be a rebuttal. as far as either for or against the application. And we have a time limit. I'm going to set that at 5 minutes for that particular. Now, if there's a common cause, where there's a common theme of people, instead of everything being repetitive, you can defer to a spokesman that will speak for a group on specific items, and we will allow extra time for that. But we will try to abide with these rules. I expect everybody to be courteous in this room. I want to refrain from any clapping, jeering, or anything of that nature. And I know that we'll have respect for all parties that are here, and that's to conduct business. With that being said, I'm going to ask our Planning Commission Director, Travis, to please come up and introduce the application, and then we'll move on.
Stand over.
Okay, it's fine, sit down or whatever you feel comfortable.
Have application here, 15-01 for Chuck Feeders. He will be the owner-operator. This operation will be located on South Oregon Springs Road, Howard Township. Operational details, it will be an AFO, 2 barns, turkeys will be the species, total of 22,200 turkeys, and they will be produced from Far Best Farms. Covers the first sheet. You've got your distances there. How in depth do you want me to go into this?
I don't know.
Line for line?
Well, you have gone and verified these distances, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Public use, 1 mile, 200 from down the center line of the road,
Correct.
property line 200 feet. Okay? There's a check mark for additional documentations. Water well is not applicable in this. Site plan map, the score sheet has met the minimum points. Neighbor notifications, they've been verified.
Correct.
Okay. Application fee,
No, it's not been paid for yet, no.
okay. Verification. Okay. Score sheet. Till the ground,
10, that's correct.
density of residency by GIS.
30, that's also.
Okay. Separation from house, public use facility, more than 250 feet. Operator award, odor abatement strategies.
85, and yeah, that's correct, 85, 115.
Okay. Criteria section explanations. This is just part of the ordinance and that. Okay. Compost.
That's showing where they got the 115 points.
Okay.
All that is.
All right. All right. This is the verification of water from Posey Township. This is the map, the location where the operation will be put in. Certified mail receipts. The letter sent out. Map of sketch of the building sites with distances. The letter that was sent out. verification of the contract and the amount of head that will be in the barns. GIS mapping, this is their distances, correct?
Correct.
And that's it. Okay, at this time, anything you would like to add?
The application, it meets the minimum point requirements. It exceeds the minimum point requirements of 220 points. 220 points.
So what is the total?
290.
All right. All right. All right. I think we'll go on. First, Chuck or Lori, either one of you, or both of you want to present what the application is? Is it, can you give us, please give us a description of the farm and what
Okay.
it is?
What we do, we produce, we graze turkeys for Farvest Farms, which is out of Huntingburg, Indiana. We have been turkey farming for approximately 7.5 years. We are expanding our operation, which I believe all the adjoining neighbors got in the letter, basically telling you what we're doing. We're basically just adding production to our farm with 2 buildings, 2 extra buildings, 2 more buildings, I should say. I'm not a speaker by any means, so if there's any questions about it.
Well, as we go through the presentation and there and rebuttals in there, is the Plain Commission, do you have any specific questions? I've got one question. I mean, you've got any existing facilities in that, and I see that you're moving your barns to an adjacent property that you own.
Yes.
And is there any particular reason that you're putting them there other than beside the other buildings?
We do not, for all the minimum setbacks, I'm 150 acres total between 2 farms. And this is the most, I should say, not really profitable, but the most inexpensive place to put it for the project. Disease purpose, does anyone understand confined feeding operation? If you ever break with a disease in confined turkeys, hogs, chickens, cattle, if you have the separation between your farms, your disease is to the minimum.
Okay,
That's basically where I'm at.
okay. Fair enough. Plan Commission, any questions? If not, we'll go in order here. Are there any common theme speakers that would like to speak or not? See, Andrew Wright, you're first, and you're responding for Oliver and Sarah, is that right? Donna Seidman. So, Andrew, if you would.
I've got several exhibits, so is it okay if I approach the commission and put this on the commission's table?
Yes, okay.
Mr. Chairman and commission members and Mr. Clark, I'm here tonight as an attorney representing Oliver and Donna Sizemore, who live at 5392 South Oregon Springs Road, Salem, Indiana. and they're immediately south of the existing site and immediately across Orange Springs Road from the proposed site. And we're well aware that what the zoning ordinance presently says, Section 701.2 sets out the standards for what in your ordinance is called an animal feeding operation, which I understand to be a confined feeding operation that has less animals than what the state regulates, either as a CFO or a CAFO. And it's a good thing for the citizens of Washington County that in your ordinance you do provide for this classification of feeding operation that is subject to public review. And on behalf of the Sizemores, I'm not going to be here tonight to argue that this is a bad thing per se, or they don't want to look at it, or they don't want to smell it, or they're afraid of the dust and this sort of thing. We're going to look at the standards that your ordinance sets out. And Mr. Elliott was kind enough to provide that to me earlier today, so I have seen this. And basically what I want to do is review that with you, because we disagree with its conclusions and the scoring that it has given. We believe that if you look at the facts of the matter and receive certain other information that maybe you have available to you, you'll see that the feeder's application does not get to the 220 points. So that's what we intend to show tonight. Now, first of all, I'd just like to put into the record, I don't know how you want to do this, I've got these numbers, but if I may, I just have a think map outline showing, highlighted in black, the McFeeters properties, where they live, where their present operation is, and where they're proposing to add their buildings, as they said. Then the Sizemores live in the property marked X. Then Mr. Miller has worked with the Sizemores on this matter, and his property is right here. So the Sizemores are surrounded on three sides by the McFeeters property, where this operation is, or where its expansion is supposed to be. So I'd like to put that into the record so you could look at that as needed. Now, when we come to the score sheet. First category is existing land use.
Drew, he's thrown that up there. Does that help you any? Is that common to what your map is?
Well, what I'm showing is what all the McFeeters own. They own property in here and then over here. The Sizemores are right here. So there is an Adkins property here, Sizemores are here. And then this is part of the McFeeters property here.
Okay. Want to go back to the score sheet now?
Now, and in terms of the classification of land, we agree with that. It is tillable land. And in case there's any question about that, here's the property assessment card, public record for the McFeeters property. And it shows that the land type is classification 4, which is tillable land. So we agree with the scoring on that category. Next category is residence density. And we agree with that. We think that depending on how it's measured, there are anywhere from 15 to 17 residences located within the half-mile of the proposed area. And just for the record, I'd like to put in who these landowners are. Now again, this is taken off a think map. So as I understand it, that was ownership current as of March 1, 2014. So some of the ownership may have changed, but it does show, according to think map, where there are residential properties within that perimeter. So put that into the record. And you can see my clients are within that record. Next item deals with the separation from house, public use facility, and church. I do think Mr. Elliott has one error in what he's put together. The Blue River Fire Station is a public use facility, and it's in less than 1,000 feet of this. So whereas the analysis showed that it was nothing closer than a mile, the Blue River Firehouse is less than 1,000 feet from where this facility is going to be. But that doesn't affect his rating of separation. And if in fact this is an AFO, and there is a point of contention about that I'll review with you tonight, why then, everything is closer than 500 feet and you have 50 points. But if it's actually a CFO, then they don't score any points based on the increased setback for a CFO. And we think there's an issue there, and I'll review that with you later on. I'm going to skip over item violations, and come to that last. The one that's really puzzling, they get 85 points for owner-operator on-site residence award. Now, in the site plan that is with the application,
Want to go back?
yeah,
All right.
right here. There's no residence on that site plan. There are two buildings, and then the manure storage building down here. The threshold question is this an enlargement of an existing CFO? Or is this an application for a separate AFO? And I don't understand how you get 85 points for an on-site residence when there's no residence on the site, unless it's expansion of the existing CFO. Either they get no points for on-site residence for the AFO, or it's a CFO and they get their 85 points. And if it's a CFO, they got to file application with the state to enlarge the existing facility. Can't have both. Either they file with the state or they don't get their 85 points, because there's no residence on this 20 acres where these two new buildings are going. That seems rather clear to me. And if he doesn't get the feeder's application does not get the 85 points, that takes them under the 220. As I understand it, that would then take this as a special exception hearing, which I assume is running more than 20 bids. Is that correct? Yes. Okay. So, I'll repeat. Either they don't get the 85 points, or it's an expansion of a CFO. The next thing that's the score sheet does not include, and this is public record. You can go on the state website, you go to the Indiana Department of Environmental Management website, and they have what's called a virtual file cabinet. And on that virtual cabinet, anybody can go on the internet and see the record of proceedings for the existing CFO that the feeders have. And they do have a violation that they were subject to in the operation of their existing facility. And basically, they were cited in, they received a notice of violation November 28, 2011. They entered into an agreed order on December 2nd, 2011, and they were released from that agreed order on January 3rd, 2014. And I want to put into the record the IDM proceedings. It was case number 2011-20388-S, showing those violations for the current operation that they have, that they say that they're enlarging. Now, what was that violation about? And we'll visually make it simple. Here's a photograph taken from Google Earth in June 30, 2010. And it shows the buildings that they were permitted by IDM to put in for their current CFO. And basically it's what in essence looks like 2.5 buildings. Put that in the record. A Google Earth photo that was taken on September 22nd, 2014 shows what this is about. Here are 4 full-size buildings. The violation was that they added that building and a half without getting a state permit. If you have a CFO and you're going to enlarge it, you have to have a state permit. They inadvertently didn't do that. They got cited and fined, and that's what their violation was about. If you're going to have a score sheet that talks about an applicant's item violations, and it's a new site, that's meaningless. So it has to apply to whatever violations the applicants have had. There, they clearly had a violation, so that would be a minus 150 points on the score sheet. Now, there's something going on the property right now that we don't quite understand, and it's been observed by the neighbors, and I'll just show photographs of that. There's a sinkhole that's to the southeast of the current feeder's operation, south of the feeder's residence, and just to the northwest of the Jeff Atkins residence. In June 30, 2010, Google Earth showed that sinkhole to be fully filled with trees and a natural sinkhole.
You got that as 9.
It's Exhibit 9 is what I'm calling it.
Yeah, I don't have an 8.
Well, I'm not going to introduce it properly.
Oh, okay, sorry,
Mike.
just wanted to make sure.
I elected not to use it.
We've said that in court too, so I understand.
Exhibit 10 was a Google Earth photo taken April 4, 2013, showing that that sinkhole has been cleared of trees and brush. Here's a Google Earth photo taken in November 6, 2013, showing that sinkhole being filled with something. Items that have been dumped there and they're being bulldozed in. Here's a Google Earth photo taken in September 22nd, 2014, showing the sinkhole filled in some material. And here's a photograph taken by a neighbor off of his property Saturday, showing the material in the sinkhole as it looks today. Now, this sinkhole is on the property that's part of all this, that the feeders own. We can't say here today what is going on. We can't tell you here today that they're dumping or storing turkey litter in it, contrary to the manure management plan. Contrary to the regulations, say if you have a sinkhole, you're supposed to have at least a 100-foot setback and then a vegetation buffer of at least 50 feet around it from your operation.
Try to get it wrapped up in 3.
Okay, so at any rate,
You started about 7:28.
what I'm telling you is that we don't know if this is an item violation, but until it's under investigation, or you have your own staff investigators, we don't know if they have a current violation there, whether or not it's associated with their operation. It may not be associated with operation, it may be a violation of some other kind. Filling a sinkhole is kind of like damming up a river, you need a permit anymore from somebody. And then the other thing I would want to point out is that this whole area is a very environmentally sensitive area. I mean, it's ground zero in terms of karst terrain in Washington County, Indiana. I want to put in the topographical map showing, highlighted in yellow, where the subject property is. And the topographical map shows a very large sinkhole in the south part of that property, and then the perimeters of a sinkhole in the north part of the property, and a perimeter on the east part of the property. And if this were a CFO, they have to meet certain setbacks for them to put it in there. So we'll put that in the record. And then I want to put an aerial photograph in the record of the 20 acres where this is proposing to go. And you can see the sinkhole being right here, and right here, and right here. And then finally, because karst topography is such a sensitive terrain, I want to put into what's in the public record the IDM's comments about the karst topography at the Freeder site when their permit was first issued. And they were recommended to be denied, though it later was approved. And then I want to show that basically what, if you have karst terrain, you're going to put in a CFO, what IDM requires is a checklist. And the point is, gentlemen and lady, your ordinance goes quite a bit to protect for smaller feeding operations, but it doesn't go far enough in its point system because karst topography is a very sensitive terrain, and your point system doesn't have any points about that. And if something like this is going to go into karst terrain where any sort of drainage gets underground and it goes into caves, groundwater, some of the neighbors here have wells, they're concerned about that. It can flow into Blue River, which is a protected stream in Indiana, it's its first natural scenic stream. Why, it's something your ordinance needs to consider in the future. But in summary, we don't believe they meet the 220-point threshold because of the past item violation it had and because they don't live on the premises, and if they do consider to live on the premises, then it's the whole premises and they're expanding their CFO and they need a state permit. Thank you.
All right.
Mr. Wright, let me just make sure I've got all your exhibits. I've got a 1, 2, 3. I don't have a 4. Did you not put in a 4?
see what it was.
I've got 5 as the IDEM violation, I've got 3 as the ownership density listing.
Bear with me. We have
That's okay.
Too much going on.
That's, we do the same thing in court with court reporters.
I don't have a 4 that I intended to introduce.
Oh, okay. So I should not have a 4.
No, you should not have a 4.
Okay, I think I'm good.
Okay.
Just so I make sure I get them all down. We'll give it to Travis and put it
All right.
in file. We're done. Anyway,
Oh, no. All right, we take a note on that. I want to hear the rest of the testimony from the rest of the people. Donna, you're on the list next. And you just deferred to them?
Oliver and I
Okay, you
came
deferred to
through
them.
to
Okay, very
present
good.
for us.
Very good. I didn't want to miss you.
Thank you.
Jeff Adkins?
That's me.
All right. You got the floor.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, I live on the property that you seen there a while ago, directly to the southeast of the proposed facility. I also live in close proximity to where the sinkhole has been filled up. As a matter of fact, I'm looking at my front door, I can see that being put in there continuously. I can see the trucks and the equipment moving over there. Not being a scientist or having been on the property, I do not understand what's in this sinkhole. I know it's not good. It is a sawdust. It's not dirt. It can't be clean sawdust. Nobody in their right mind would throw away clean sawdust into a sinkhole. There's got to be some other kind of explanation for this. Me and my wife simply do not want the turkey houses because we don't want the smell. And I know that's probably not in the ordinance. The ordinance does say that you have to send out these letters to all the residents within a certain distance of the property. But does the ordinance say anything about having to take it into consideration? It says you have to have the letter, but does it say you have to take it into consideration? Do you know that?
Basically, the letters are so that you're identified, that you know that what the intentions are of the adjoining property.
Right. Right now, where it's unclear whether or not my property is being violated by this. I'm surrounded on 3 sides by Chuck's property. And me and my wife are very concerned about this, especially with other violations going on the farm. Now, I bought this property 15 years ago because the place I lived before, they built turkey houses. They built chicken houses. Scott can verify this. I rented a home from his father for several years and lived there until they built the houses. The stench was so bad, he had to move. So we moved. Now 15 years later, we're going through this again. We don't want to have to go through this again. This is going to be devastating to me and my wife because we'll probably have to move this property. We like something like that either. And I'm unclear about the ordinance. I haven't looked at the ordinance yet, the county ordinance. I need to find out whether the county ordinance passes constitutional muster. If it don't pass constitutional muster, there's another problem going on here. All it has to do is be challenged. So we're considering this. It's going to be left up to the commission what our decision will be. If it's passed by the commission and allowed to happen, to have standing in the court, the barns would have to be built first. We wouldn't have no standing. So the barns would have to be built. Then we would challenge it in court. And then, if we can get a judgment, the buildings would have to be torn down. We really don't want to go through all of that. We don't want to go through the expense. And we're going to lose lots of money on this. Is my time up?
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, that's basically all I need to say.
All right.
I'm trying to watch that clock, folks. So
But,
we're looking over there.
As far as in the, we're trying to go back to the permit and the ordinance as it's written. Of course, I'll do a rebuttal on the ordinance. ordinance worked for about 2 years as far as developing the ordinance. We had a lot of public comments, during that time period, a lot of input. And I guess I did not see you at a public hearing for the ordinance.
No, probably not. I didn't realize it was actually going on. But that still does not make the ordinance the supreme law. The supreme law is the Constitution of the United States and the state of Indiana. And an ordinance can be challenged. I've done this in this county before, and I've been very successful at this. So, this is one of the things that you'll have to take into consideration also.
Let me point out that if for some reason, and I've been a part of this entire process from the beginning, and have a very, very good understanding of constitutional law, and if for some reason there was something wrong with this ordinance, 1 in a million, okay? And this ordinance was somehow made null and void by some higher power, then there would be no regulation whatsoever. So, I don't really understand where you're going with that.
Well, that's what the commission said before, when I went before.
This is the only piece of county legislation to protect you that there is.
Let's see if they can do a
Why
good
you would
job.
want to-
Let's see if they do a good job of this. If they're here, government is here to protect the people's rights and their property rights. That's what their main function is, correct?
Yes.
Okay, let's see if the county commission can do it.
All right, for time and that, thank you very much for your remarks. I have, what is it,
Marvin Miller.
Marvin Miller. Okay, Marvin?
I turned in the dumping operation in the sinkhole. I understood it might be turkey litter. I turned it in as such, Monday. Monday they went down and inspected that dumping. And he scratched around a little on the surface and said, I find nothing but coarse sawdust here. And I said, it will need to be inspected. He scratched around a little more and said he found a turkey foot and a turkey leg bone. And then when I received an email, he said that he decided that it could possibly have been from a possum or a raccoon. By the way, I'm not a public speaker. I always had a fear of that. But anyway, I called him and spoke to him subsequently today about 5:30.
And who would that would be?
That would be Mr. Andy Stinchfield, the Senior Environmental Manager, and also the person who inspected the sinkhole. He's the on-scene coordinator in the emergency response for the IDEM Southeast Regional Office. You may have a copy of that.
Okay.
5:30 this afternoon or evening, I talked to him, and he assured me, and I have his permission to quote him, that if this man has a state permit for his operation, he requires a state permit to expand. Also, if these two properties are contiguous, they are one property, and he also requires a state permit. That means you have no standing to rule on this, absolutely none, according to Mr. Andy Stinchfield. It's a state matter. And believe me, if this man commences to build, I will be in contact with Mr. Andy Stinchfield to see if he has a permit, state permit. You all have no standing to rule on this according to the state person. Mr. Andy Stinchfield. No standing at all. If he has a state permit on his existing operation, and if these two properties are contiguous, and I believe that they are, even though a county highway separates them, county road. I don't know that personally, but I will be finding out. And I have been informed that they are contiguous, even though it's separated by a county road. And people have no standing. It's out of your hands. All you can do is defer. In my opinion, I'm finished.
All right, thank you.
And if you grant it, I will be in touch with Mr. Andy Stinchfield.
Okay,
Believe me.
are you done?
I'm finished.
Okay, thank you. Darrell Todd? You didn't, okay.
It's BZA.
Or is that different, general?
It's BZA number. BZA number.
Okay, yes, all right. Marcy Walker? Oh, okay, Marcia, okay. Boy, I'm having trouble reading all this.
And I printed.
Yes. Jeff and Kathy Straight,
Yes.
all right. Floor's yours.
I think he basically covered it. We're just concerned about smell, the wild coyotes, bobcats. I've had my livestock attacked already by coyotes, a bobcat. This wasn't recently, but with dead turkeys or whatever the birds are in this building, that's a fear of ours, is having these wild animals come on our property. It's once or twice a month where, we got a mule to get rid of them, but I have vet bills from a wild cat attacking my horse. So that's our biggest concern, is what these things dead laying in the barn are gonna bring wild animals around.
Do you have anything on the permit process that you want to add as far as missing or distances or anything of that nature? Okay. Is there anything else that you want? Okay, I mean, if not, are you done?
Yes.
All right. Jesse Blanton?
Yeah,
Yes, yeah, you have the floor.
well, most everything's been said. I'm just concerned about the flies and the mice and all that kind of things, and the smell. That's about all I got to say. Everything else has been said.
Barbara?
Yes. Yeah, he said what I was going to say, but also I'm concerned about the compost where they put the dead turkeys at.
Boy.
Because I know they have to have a compost hole in the ground where they put the dead animals when they walk the turkey houses every day. And the flies will be terrible. Believe me, I know my daughter has chicken houses, but they don't affect us. Their turkey houses they have now, the McPheers, are way down over a hill, so they don't bother anybody. I didn't even know they had turkey houses till about 7 months ago, and so they don't bother anybody because they're way down over a hill, off the road. They're not up by the road, and so the smell is terrible. It's worse than chickens, believe me. And sinkholes, we have sinkhole on our property too where we live. Right next to Sharon Gent Sumter. We live next door to her on the other side of her. And we have a big sinkhole, and there's also a little cave down further on the property. There's a little cave down there too. Because my daughter and her husband, they own the property, but we live there. But they walked down there after they bought the property 2 years ago, and they found this little cave where drainage and everything can run into it. So I guess that's about it.
So how long have you lived on this pistol?
2 years.
2 years? And you say that just in the last 7 months you've noticed that there's been buildings?
I'm sorry.
You said that just, you didn't know there was buildings there?
I did not
until
know they had turkey houses because they're way down over a hill where you can't even see them. And when they're way down that far, you can't smell anything. You don't have a bunch of flies, you don't have a bunch of mice, and so on and so forth.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sharon
Yes.
Geist? Or is that right?
Pardon me?
Sharon,
Jen
your last
Sumter.
name?
Sumter, Jen.
Something, okay.
Well, I'm the one that's going to be right next to the building. And I'm concerned about the smell, the noise, the turkey ticks, the flies. And I do have a big one, the woods there in his property, there's a big sinkhole right there, big sinkhole. And that's what I'm concerned about, is I moved to the country 15 years ago for peace and quiet. You're not gonna have it with turkey barns. So that's what I say about it.
All right. Young lady come in late and didn't get the sign. You wanted to sign in blue?
Marcia, next to Marcia.
Oh,
Are you wanting to speak?
I'd like to say something.
All right, your name, please.
Mabel Ann Curran.
Okay.
Your last name, I'm sorry, maybe?
Curran.
Curran.
Mr. Miller's my boyfriend, and I've spent a lot of time with him. I do smell the turkey houses from his house, and I'm very concerned about the groundwater. Mr. Miller is of the highest integrity, and I have to say that I believe they're dumping their debris in that sinkhole, and I believe it could be affecting the water as well, and the Blue River, and we need to all think about that.
Okay. All right, with that, Chuck, would
I
you
would
like
like to
to?
say a little more if I could. I forgot to say something.
All right.
I'm a little bit intense when it comes to public speaking. I think Mr. McPeter's dumping into the sinkhole, regardless of what it is a reflection on his attitude about environmental regulations and will carry over into his current operations and proposed expanded operations. I believe it.
All right, Chuck.
Okay, let's just start at the violation. I didn't understand what a violation was when I had a separate party fill this application out for me. Okay, what the violation, what you're saying violation, what it is, was a post application to where we had got the barns, let me back up, when we added on in 2011, whenever it was we added on a fourth barn to our production. We went through the state permit to get pre-approved, to get the pad in, to get the buildings done. What I failed to do in the 3 inches book that they sent me, I forgot to sign a piece of paper and send it back to the state, telling them that I had completed my facility. That's, I'm assuming is what the violation I do. I had not a clue that it existed. That is the only thing that I know of. And it basically was a signature on a piece of paper that I did not do. They've come out, they've checked me numerous times over that. They come out every year, the IDM does, and check your farm to make sure you are in line with their rules. I will say, my farm, I think, is probably the most well-kept, cleanest poultry farm in Washington County. Anyone here is more than welcome to come and look at my site, my compost building. I run top line farming operation. The sinkhole comments, yes, it is a sinkhole. I come in, I dozed it, pushed all the trees in it. It is 100% wood product, and I can verify where I've got this at a local sawmill. It's 100% overrun sawdust that they got rid of back several years ago is when I did this. I don't know the exact dates, but it's 100% wood product, and you're more welcome to get out in and come in and take care of it, check it out, whatever needs to be done. I have nothing to hide as far as that goes. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
A little more to say. He's not.
We're not going to go back and forth.
Okay, sure.
I want to clarify a couple of things on that. One is on the IDM and EPA violations. We went through the ordinance. IDM has a hard time differentiation, in the violations. They classify even clerical problems, as far as the paperwork being violation. We referred to and I've got it up here, the IDM violations for the score sheet. This refers only to a violation of water and air quality that resulted in enforcement action. And record of an inspection violations have no enforcement action, are not classified as violations for purpose of this point system. is not, the violation that was proposed in that does not hit as a IDM violation under this, under water and airport. So I wanted to verify that in that, because that's in part of the ordinance itself. And I know that everybody's concerned about karst, we're in a karst topography, but there is a separation of our regulation that we can do, and we do not regulate the waters of the state of Indiana, and part of the karst system is part of that water aquifer system, and that goes underneath the guidance of IDEM. We could say that we want to do that, but legally we cannot bind anybody because of it, because we do not have jurisdiction. Yes, Adam.
If anyone here is familiar with Title 36 of the Indiana Code, I'm sure Mr. Wright is, it clearly defines what authority a plan commission, a county plan commission has. And like David said, air and water quality are not, they're simply not under our jurisdiction. We cannot base decisions on air and water quality. It's land use plan. That's all we can base our decisions on. So, and you guys, I mean, I guess I'm talking to the audience as well as to you guys, because we obviously need to have some conversation on this. I agree with what David says on the points violations thing. The ordinance under criteria section explanations clearly says that a record violation is not considered a violation under this ordinance. If his violation is from him not signing a piece of paper, that's a record violation. It's not an actual air or water quality violation either. The question that I see with this operation is the point that Mr. Wright made about, is this an addition to his operation that he's got, or is it not an addition to it? Because that raises a legitimate question that is something that is covered in our ordinance. Because either he, like you said, either if this is a separate operation, then he doesn't get the on-site award. And if it is not a separate operation, if this is in addition to his CFO, then the setback is different. See what I'm saying? The setback is 600 feet per CFO. That is the thing that we have some, possible, that is covered by what the county planning commission has any authority over, would be an issue like that. And that is something that is a very good question.
Okay.
So,
Are there, for the public hearing aspect, is there anybody else that would like to present anything? This is your opportunity right now.
Who hasn't already spoken?
right.
Yeah, who hasn't already spoken? And I do have one question for you, Chuck and Lori. I guess your existing operation is underneath of a permit, because I see this and it is inspected. So it is classified under a CFO.
CFO, yes.
Is there anything else to be brought up during this public hearing? If not, I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Mark, second. Okay, Adam made a motion, second. It's open for discussion. Seeing none, all in favor of closing the public hearing, signify by saying aye. All opposed, same. Motion carried. The public hearing is closed. At this time, I would like to go ahead and reconvene into our plan commission meeting so we can have discussion. Adam Moore has made the motion to reconvene. Jerry McClellan Have a second. All in favor, do we have discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye. All opposed, same. Motion carried. We can go ahead and conduct business.
Rest of the exhibits, please.
Try to get everything together. Is there anything else that's on the public hearing that needs to be submitted?
No.
All right. Discussion of the AFO application. Any general comments?
I already made my general comments.
All right.
I mean, unless we can come to some decision that we're comfortable with, I would definitely want to refer to some legal counsel on it. And possibly our consultant as well,
All right.
before we make a final.
What particular item do we want to, is your item of concern whether this is a continuance of the CFO?
Basically, yes. I mean,
Okay.
if it is a continuance of the CFO, then the developmental standards are different for a CFO. If it is a new operation, then he can't have an on-site, he can't be a resident on two different operations. See what I'm saying?
So I think we need some verification on that, and probably some consulting from IDM of how they refer to that.
Basically, if IDM is going to require a permit, then it's a CFO. Plain and simple.
It looks to me like the operation's already a CFO. I don't see it being an AFO.
Yeah.
From what I'm seeing,
Yeah.
unless it's under a different name or totally separate. It'll be on the same farm. But even according to the numbers, they're still over 600 feet.
They are over 600 feet, but they don't get on the score sheet, they don't, if you read the score sheet, it says, yeah, they get an extra, at least 250 feet more than the standard, they got an extra 50 points for that.
If they scored 290, all they need is 2 more.
Their score was 290?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're still above.
They would not get the 50 points, right? They'd
They
be,
put it to 90 points, 50, so they'll still be in good shape.
right.
Well, but if you take away the 85, they won't be.
Well, if they won't take away the 85, if it's the same farm.
If it's the
Same
same farm,
farm,
then they
it'll-
don't take away the
Yeah.
85, right?
The 85 will be intact on that.
Well, then it loses the 50,
Right.
so there's still 240.
Is there a home, the closest residence? That was one question that I had. From the map, it appears as it is.
Do we
Can I
know
ask a
that,
question?
Travis? Is the McFeeters home the closest residence to this proposed site?
I'd say not, I'd say the Atkins house.
No.
Not where they reside.
Okay.
Ms. Jan,
That's including the current residence or the new home?
The,
Current?
I'm asking, my question to Travis is the home that they are saying is their on-site residence, is it the closest residence to the proposed buildings?
Brother James McPeters will be
Ask
closest.
Travis.
I wonder how is...
Okay, we can get back to that. It's just a
Well,
question.
I think we
Yeah, I got it. Purpose of that. I don't know what I do.
I've got, I'm fumbling through for our definition of on the adjacent properties, stuff like that. And I've seen that before. And that, my recommendation right now is that I think we've seen that we may have some point reduction in the, in that, and it depends on how IBM considers it, whether it's a CFO or if it's below commit process. And I think we need to do that. We are going to have a meeting on June, the first Monday of June. And that would give us enough time to verify some of the comments that would come before us. And I think that'd probably be appropriate to verify other and take by assumptions. And that, don't you?
I think it is.
Do you want to entertain that as a motion?
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion that we kind of table this till the 3rd of June, our next planning commission meeting, and in the meantime, seek some more information as far as qualifications.
All right, I would second that. Jerry McClellan has made it second. It's open for discussion. Okay, they're tabling it until the June meeting.
In that tabling, are you basically telling Travis not to issue the permit?
Well, basically, until we get further information verifying the score sheet.
That's what I'm saying. You're telling Travis not to issue the permit, so, because it is, as you said earlier, it's really an administrative action, so you're taking a unique step and telling Travis not to do this. Is that what I'm hearing? I'm seeing head shake.
Well, I would assume,
Okay, that's what first is. Okay.
Right, we need to, before we actually table it, though, we need to decide what information that we need to find out.
Yes, and I think
we can do that in this discussion. We need to find out if the state is going to require the permit.
right.
That is, everybody wants to know.
Hang on.
Okay.
First of all, I'm trying to get the tabling, so.
basically you're saying whether it's an AFO or CFO.
Right, that'll be the determining thing. If the state is going to require a permit, then that's going to, then you automatically going to get the homeowner's deduction, but he's not going to get the AFO deduction. So that's going to, the state is pretty much going to determine that.
Right.
And of course, if he's got to go through state permits, then, the state's got all their own rules and regulations too, so just because it passes our muster doesn't mean it passes the state, so necessarily.
But typically our standards are a little tougher than those things. So,
Except for water.
exactly, we're out
We
of.
can't talk about sinkhole.
Exactly.
So the other one is the continuous property.
Yeah, I would like to know, maybe we can talk to Salem, what's his name, the U.S. Marshal. He's a pretty good property.
And I think that we have some definition that we had looked up in this. And that, Daniel, do you remember how that, because it talks about roads and separation, from properties.
What's the page in?
Well, I'm trying to find it. There's a part in here about the land separated by roads or actually.
If I'm remembering right, we considered a road to not be separated of something that's contiguous. Okay, boundaries indicated as, it's on page 4.
Yeah.
Boundaries indicated as approximately following the center line of the street code, majority to be considered private.
talks about center lines of streams, rivers, and canals, and lakes. And then the roads. Okay, all right. We need to deal with that. And I really think that maybe our state discussion is probably going to clarify.
Yeah, that's gonna answer the question right there.
I think that when we come up to a conclusion in there, it's going to be the state's determination if this is a farm that needs a CFO permit or anything else. You know, and they don't recognize AFO. It's got to hit within certain standards. So unless they see it as part of the other buildings that's already there, and then it will stand alone. It won't need a permit. But if they it depends on their determination.
That's gonna answer both questions pretty much.
Yeah. So, all right. All right. At this time, we have a motion on the floor to table with exception for Travis not to approve the application at this time till we verify this with the state. Yeah, not to issue permit till we do verification on those formats. And then we'll have it during our planning commission with the direction to allow Travis on the permit. All right? That's the motion that's on the floor. We'll take this to a vote. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same. Motion carried. We will convene that, and it will be, what is the first month? In June. June 1. June 1, we will bring this as an order of business. Plan Commission, Travis, do you have anything else that you would like to add? Or you have any other business you would like to present?
No, not at this time.
All right. You understand the direction of what we are doing right now as far as finding out the additional information. We'll work with legal counsel and work with the state IDM and verify this language and we'll bring it up to business. First order of business, June 1.
There's one other thing, Mark would be good enough to look up our definition for public use facility. Clarification for that also.
Of course, the setback for a public use facility is the same as the house. In the ordinance. It's only schools that have the bridge there.
All right. Is there any other business needs to be brought before the Planning Commission at this time? We've already scratched off the review of ordinances with KK and the BZA. If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make it.
Scott Marlin's made a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second? Mark Marlin has made a second. It's open for discussion. Seeing none, we'll take it to a vote. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, the same. Motion carried. Thank you, and thank you very much for your participation.